Inauguration Day was a day filled with celebration and optimism. The first order of business was the inaugural parade through downtown Hartford. The short procession started at the Soldiers and Sailors Arch, continued past the Capitol, and onto the State Armory for Dan Malloy's swearing-in ceremony. And when the parade ended, the pomp and circumstance moved inside the State Armory. That's where Governor Malloy took the oath of office. Fox Connecticut's John Charlton has more on his first speech as Connecticut's new governor.
The duties of the office of governor to the best of your abilities. So help you God.
I do.
Emphatically sworn in as Connecticut's 88th governor, Dan Malloy took the podium at the Armory knowing he was in for a tough fight.
Today I see an economic crisis, an employment crisis, both fueled by unfriendly employer environment, a lack of educational resources, a deteriorating transportation system, and an enormous budget crisis of historic proportions, all coddled by a habit of political sugarcoating that has passed our problems on to the next generation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the next generation is here.
The first Democrat to head the state's executive branch in 20 years, Governor Malloy pledged to work across party lines to turn things around in Connecticut.
Most importantly, we will need to solve our problems together by pursuing with great urgency not Republican ideas or Democratic ideas, but good ideas that know no political master or agenda.
Malloy also took the opportunity to recognize the very popular woman he was replacing.
Governor Rell stepped into the role of governor at a time when our state was in a different kind of crisis, a crisis of confidence in the character and intentions of its leadership. She worked tirelessly to restore that sense of respectability, and she will hold a special place in our hearts because of her efforts.
Malloy thanked Governor Rell for leaving her office a better place. Malloy vows that's his mission now for the entire state.
I believe the people of Connecticut are willing to make sacrifices if shared sacrifice really is shared, that we understand where we are going, and that it is a sacrifice with a purpose. At this crossroads of crisis and opportunity, I believe we will hold fast to our heritage while we reach deep, rally hard, and choose to leave Connecticut a better place.
John Charlton, Fox, Connecticut.
Governor Malloy has said closing the budget gap is his first priority. He set the tone as he addressed the General Assembly moments after taking office.
Welcomed with a standing ovation, Governor Dan Malloy addressed the joint session of the General Assembly with a message of optimism and realism.
We are indeed at a crossroads of crisis and opportunity. We will need to reach deep to our roots, those of strength, yet compassion, steadfastness, yet innovation.
Crisis and opportunity are meeting all right. Some might say at a toll booth asking for $3.5 billion to move on. To that, the new governor says Connecticut will compete for lucrative biotech and stem cell research jobs. That Connecticut will develop its 3 deep-water ports to spark commercial activity and will make Bradley International Airport an independent entity. Ideas that cross political parties. Malloy posed questions today, urging lawmakers to look for the answers, suggesting that what they find will bring them together.
Future generations will look back on this particular crossroads of crisis and opportunity and say that we rallied, that we reached deep. We chose well to leave this great state better than we found it. After all, we know as the people of Connecticut, it is in our nature to do so.
Party leaders are, for now, playing nice, agreeing at least to the concept of shared sacrifice, but asking questions of their own.
We could all agree about shared sacrifice. The question is, how does one define shared sacrifice? There are a lot of people who say in the last go-round there was 3 prongs, 3 legs to the stool. There was borrowing, there was tax increases.
Let's start with the tax spending that doesn't contribute to jobs. Those special tax breaks and expenditures that special interests got on the books over the last 50 years, and no one ever went back to check to see if they were still contributing to jobs. Those types of tax expenditures and loopholes need to go, and there are billions of dollars of those particular tax expenditures.
At the Capitol, Lori Perez, Fox Connecticut News.
But before the work begins, a party, a black tie only party at the convention center in Hartford that got some criticism from people confused about Malloy's message of shared sacrifice and then hosting a black tie party. But nonetheless, a good time had by all who attended. Fox Connecticut's Narmin Chaudhary was there.
Complete with a red carpet, women were dazzling in floor-length gowns and were escorted by members of Connecticut's Honor Guard. Men were dressed to the nines as the Connecticut Convention Center was transformed for the 2011 inaugural ball.
It's special because it's been so long since a Democrat's been elected governor, and it's just a celebration.
It's very exciting. It's a new beginning.
At a cost of $175 a ticket, the drinks flowed, the crowd mingled before the ceremonies got underway to celebrate a new Democratic governor to office for the first time in more than 20 years.
I've had the pleasure of working with Dan Malloy down in Stamford for over 10 years now, and so I wouldn't have missed this.
We're diehard Democrats. We've been Democrats all our lives, both our parents, our families. We're business people. We want to see good government.
While no public money was used for the inaugural ball, the cost of the $300,000 bash in a time the state faces a serious financial crisis is hard to ignore. Many in the room acknowledging the difficult road ahead for state lawmakers.
The state has a lot of problems. We all know it, and I think we have a man who's committed to doing his best to fix them and get us back to where we belong.
But for now, it's a celebration.
We'll get the hard work done, but tonight is celebrating.
Yes, I'm sure that they do have it in the back of their minds, but it is a celebratory time.
I think you have to enjoy the evening. It's probably going to be the last fun day they're going to have till probably sometime in July.
And he said that right. It could be among the last time politicians are smiling so much with lots of hard work ahead. Don't forget, if you missed something here on The Real Story, you can now watch it online by going to ctnow.com. You can also catch us on YouTube. Thanks for watching this week's edition of The Real Story. We'll see you here again next week.